In multispectral image database, due to the presence of discrete spectral band, the representation of spectral signatures is so coarse. But in case of the hyperspectral image database, due to the continuity in the spectral band present, there is a completeness in spectral signatures. Means hyperspectral image gives us the complete spectral informations about the object, whereas in case of the multispectral we cannot get the complete informations, and there is some kind of the losses of the informations. Means we cannot get the full information or the full content of informations or the micro level of informations about the object from the multispectral image database. Besides this, multispectral image database cannot discriminate the small spectral difference. What I have said in the previous point, the multispectral image database cannot discriminate the small spectral difference, whereas the hyperspectral image database is capable to detect the subtle spectral features, means the micro type of spectral features. We can get each and every kind of spectral phenomena of the object from this hyperspectral image database. In multispectral image database, the data volumes is so smaller. Like if you uh, mm, get the ETM plus data from Landsat 7 sensor, then the size of the data will be approximately up to 800 MB. But in case of the Hyperion database, the data set will be so larger in volume and the size may be approximately about 2 GB to 3 GB. In case of the multispectral image, the processing and the calibrations is so simple, but in case of the hyperspectral database, the processing and the calibrations are so complex and time consuming. So the fact is that the hundreds of bands may not be the only indicator of any image database to be hyperspectral. We cannot say every kind of or any kind of image database having the 100 amount of bands as hyperspectral, but the narrowness and the continuity or contiguity of measurement is the prime indicator. So narrowness should be there, or narrowness in the bandwidth should be there, and those band spreading should be continuous in nature. And the gathering of the data from numerous wave bands contiguously over an entire range of the spectrum is the basic indicator of the hyperspectral images. So, what is that hyperspectral images or hyperspectral imager exactly? It is a science of acquiring the information about the environment or the earth's surfacial elements in narrow and contiguous spectral bands. It is also said as the imaging spectrometry. So it is better to say that imaging and spectroscopy, these two are basic phenomena or basic constituent of hyperspectral remote sensing system. So that's why it is said that it is also can be said as the imaging spectrometry. The hyperspectral sensor can sense the spectral signature without any omission. So, what are the sensors used in hyperspectral remote sensing system? Like all other kind of remote sensing systems like multispectral or microwave, in case of these hyperspectral sensors, there are two types of platforms. Sorry, there are two types of sensors. One is on the basis of platform and another one is on the basis of the operation. On the basis of the platform, the Hyperspectral sensors can be of three types like spaceborne, airborne, and groundborne. And on the basis of the operation, the hyperspectral sensors can be categorized in three categories like Whisk-Broom imaging spectrometer, Push-Broom imaging spectrometer, and starring or framing sensor. So in this case, the actual nature of the Whisk-Broom and Push-Broom imaging spectrometers are quite different from the multispectral Whisk-Broom and Push-Broom imaging sensors. And there, those two are used as a scanner, means Whisk-Broom scanner and Push-Broom scanner. But here, means in case of the hyperspectral remote sensing system, these are Whisk-Broom imaging spectrometer and Push-Broom imaging spectrometer. So there are three types of sensors like Whisk-Broom, Push-Broom, and starring. So what is the nature of these three sensors? So first of all, I would like to say about the Whisk-Broom and the Push-Broom. These two are very important and the very common. Though in case of the handheld hyperspectral system, means the spectroradiometer or the spectrophotometer, the starring sensors are used, and these starring sensors are so important and so compatible to the complex Earth surfacial spectra. But in case of the airborne or spaceborne hyperspectral sensors, these Whisk-Broom imaging spectrometer and the Push-Broom imaging spectrometers are very important. In case of the Whisk-Broom imaging spectrometer, we can say that it is an optomechanical device. It is an optomechanical device and record the spectral responses from the objects to produce images in numerous continuous spectral channels. Number two, it has on-axis optics with scanning mirrors that sweeps from one edge to another of the swath. On-axis optics means the optics or the oscillating mirror which have you got in case of the multispectral Whisk-Broom scanner. These oscillating mirrors are mounted within the instrument, within the sensor at 90-degree angle. So it is said as the on-axis optics. These on-axis optics are oscillating, that's why the mirrors can sweep from one edge to another edge of the swath. Number three is it uses single detector to detect the field of view. Number four is in it the moving mirror directs the radiation or the energy from different part of the ground surface to the radiation sorting optics. What is radiation sorting optics? Radiation sorting optics is such an instrument or such a device which can accept or which can sense the energy which is coming from the surface, and this device can sort it out the energies as per the wavelength. So that is the radiation sorting optics. So the radiation sorting optics is consisted of the dispersion device. What is dispersion device? Dispersion device can disperse the energy in different wavelengths or disperse the energy or segregate the energy as per different wavelengths. So this radiation sorting optics is consisted of the dispersion device, the radiation dispersed and separated wavelength wise, and is focused on the photodetector. This photodetector consists of CCD line array, and the image is formed along the ground track, and imaging is limited by the short dwell time for each ground resolution cell at a given IFOV or instantaneous field of view. Now, what is dwell time? Dwell time is basically the time spent in same area or